Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back. We're really glad you could join us today.
Yeah, always good to be here, digging into the materials you send over.
So today's topic is something I think most people enjoy, hobbies. But we're looking at it through a specific lens.
Right, the lens of, how you talk about them,
Mm,
especially if you're working on your English.
exactly. The source material we're looking at today focuses right on that.
It defines hobbies pretty simply, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Things you do in your free time well, because they make you happy. Not work, not chores.
Yeah, stuff you choose to do. And the source really highlights why talking about these things is so valuable.
It frames it as great practice for English, obviously, but also more than that.
More than just language practice.
Yeah, like a way to actually connect with people, to start conversations, find common ground. It makes sense,
Yeah.
It's personal.
Okay, so let's unpack that a bit. The source suggests talking about hobbies is effective because it's you, it's authentic.
Right. And that makes the conversation easier, maybe more engaging than talking about, I don't know, the weather.
Huh, definitely. It gives you something real to share. The source mentions it's a brilliant way to kickstart conversations.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And think about it. If someone says they like gardening or painting or whatever,
Instantly gives you something to ask about.
exactly, it creates that little spark. The material even gives a couple of examples, right? Like someone playing soccer.
Yeah, finds it exciting, connects with friends that way, and another person who's into reading.
Uh-huh. Reading mystery books specifically, which they find thrilling.
And these examples, they show how just saying, I like X, opens up more questions like, why do you like it? Or how often?
Or who do you do it with? It leads naturally into more dialogue. Which brings us to the next point the material covers.
Which is how, practically, you start talking about hobbies in English, what words and sentences to use.
And that's where the source gets really practical.
Yeah.
Gives some foundational vocabulary, keywords.
Simple sentence structures, too, that it recommends for, getting started right away.
It focuses on 6 main verbs, action words, that cover a lot of common pastimes.
Okay, what are they?
Let's see, it lists draw, dance, cook, read, play, and watch.
Draw, dance, cook, read, play, watch. Got it.
The idea isn't that this is every hobby ever, obviously, but these 6 verbs are like springboards.
Good starting points, so let's look at them. Draw first.
Right, making pictures. The example sentence is simple. I like to draw animals.
Okay, nice structure. I like to, plus the verb. Very clear.
Then dance. Moving to music. The example is she loves to dance.
Ah, so loves to as well. Showing a stronger feeling, maybe.
It could be. It introduces that variation. Next up, cook. Preparing food.
And the example.
He can cook well. So here we get can, talking about ability.
Right, so it's not just liking, but also skill. Interesting. What's after cook?
Read books, magazines. The example is we read books every night.
Okay, that one uses the simple present tense. Shows a routine, a habit.
Yeah, another common way hobbies fit into our lives. Then there's play.
Which the source links to sports or games, right?
Usually, yeah. The example is they play soccer every weekend. Again, simple present for a regular activity.
And you need the specific game or sport after play. You don't just play.
Good point. And the last one is watch.
Like movies, TV shows?
Exactly. Things you look at for enjoyment. The example sentence. I watch movies on the weekends. Simple present again for habits.
Okay, so summing that up, 6 verbs: draw, dance, cook, read, play, watch. And the source shows them in really common, simple patterns.
Yeah, like I like to, I love to, I can. Or just the simple present, like I read or they play.
It feels very intentional, like these are chosen because they're easy.
I think so. Easy to remember, easy to use, and pretty flexible. Once you know I like to and these verbs, you can say a lot.
I like to draw, I like to cook, I like to read. Yeah, that seems like it would build confidence fast.
Definitely. And like the example showed, saying I like to read isn't usually the end.
Right, it's the start. It invites questions like, oh, really, what kind of books? Or, read anything good lately?
Exactly. That's where the real conversation, the real practice, and the connection happens, just like the source material keeps emphasizing.
The power is in starting the conversation.
Mm-hmm. And the source also pushes for practice, right? It doesn't just list the words.
Yeah, it's just actively using them, saying the sentences out loud, maybe writing them down.
Making it active, not passive.
Yeah.
Turning I know the word cook into I can say I like to cook. That's the key step.
So let's quickly pull this together for everyone listening. What are the core takeaways from this source material?
Well, we focused on those 6 key verbs. Draw, dance, cook, read, play, and watch.
And we saw how the material suggests using them in very simple but effective sentences.
Things like, I like to draw, or they play soccer.
Yeah.
Really foundational stuff for starting a conversation.
And the big idea, the main point from the source, seems to be that using these simple tools to talk about your hobbies is, well, it's a really positive thing.
Yeah, fun, practical, good for your English, and good for connecting with other people.
So the material ends with a bit of a challenge for you, the listener.
Right. It basically says, try it out. This week, think about your own hobbies. Use one of these words, one of these sentence structures.
Don't just think, say it. Maybe tell someone, or even just say it to yourself in the mirror.
Taking that step makes a real difference, it suggests. It helps lock in the language.
Absolutely. And interestingly, the source also hints at what might come next, focusing on talking about what you can and can't do.
Okay. Another useful area for describing yourself and your skills. Sounds good.
We'll look forward to exploring that down the line.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in today.
Yeah, thanks so much for spending this time with us. If you found this useful, maybe leave us a rating or a review, and subscribe if you haven't. It really does help.
Keep looking for those chances to connect, to share a bit about yourself.
We'll talk to you next time.
Bye for now. But hey, before you go, just take a second. Can you think of your main hobby using one of those 6 words? Draw, dance, cook, read, play, watch. And maybe, who's one person you could tell about it this week using a simple sentence like, I'd like to? Just something to think about.